Hello, English 101 students. This is your professor, Michael Bloomingberg, and as promised, this is the video that's going to hopefully shed some insight into the MLA Works Cited for the Stanley Milgram critique essay. So I'm on our Blackboard page, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to Course Content. I'm going to click on the Stanley Milgram article, and I'm going to pull up the PDF packet. This is what you're going to want to do as you're reviewing. I'm going to move the video over just a little bit so we can get the key information that we need from that. I'm going to pull back up. I need to just kind of situate this thing a little bit. Pull back up here, and we're going to kind of flip back and forth between the packet and the Word document where we're going to put this thing together. And I think we'll find it helpful as we're going through to find the information that we need. I'm going to go back here for just a second. And one of the things I want to recommend here is that you go to the Purdue OWL MLA website. And remember that you're going to MLA Works Cited Books. There are a couple things you're going to need to pay attention to here. I've mentioned the first one just before spring break. But look closely at edition of a book because it shows you where to put the edition. That's something we'll need for this Works Cited. And then just a little ways down below that is a work in an anthology, reference, or collection. The sample that I'm following is from that Purdue OWL work in an anthology. So I won't go back here too much, but I just want to show you where I'm pulling the information from as far as sequencing is concerned. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to want to hit Control-C to, well, let me try that again. Make that Control-E to center my title, and I'm going to call it Works Cited, which is exactly what you're going to want to do to set up your Works Cited page. Hit Control-L to take it back to the left, or if you go to the Home key, you can follow it up in the paragraph option if you prefer. So the first thing I'm going to do is MLA says there's no numbering or bullet points, so I'm going to go Milgram Stanley first with the period to set up the author's last name, comma, first name, period. Now, what is the article entitled? Let's go back, and perhaps we can scroll down, and when we do so, we'll find it there on the bottom of 167. It's the Perils of Obedience. And remember that we want to put that in quotation marks, because it comes from the larger overall work, as we'll look at in just a second. And put the period inside the quotations to show the end of the entry there. And so far, so good. Next thing MLA says we have to do to set this up is find the title of the overall book. And it's in the first page of the PDF packet. It's from a book called Writing and Reading Across the Curriculum. So let's plug that in. We need to italicize that because that is the name of the overall book. And put our comma afterwards because this is all going into the bibliographic info and it's kind of extended at this point. So we're not going to put another period in there for a little bit longer. We have to put one for shorthand, we'll see in a moment, and to signify page numbers, but the last period won't come until the very end. And so we've got the name of the book. Now's where it gets a little tricky because the MLA standard says that we have to look to see if there's an addition to the book. So let's go back. And right here where I'm moving my cursor, you can see that there is an addition to the book. And in this case, it's the 4th edition. So we'll come back. We can equate that numerically and put 4th ED. And because ED stands for edition and we're abbreviating it, we need a period after it, followed by a comma to know that our entry is still going on. That was when I was looking at your MLA Works Cited that you put together for the Milgram article. That was one of the big concerns that I saw, is that many of you left out the edition. But it's one of those things where if you don't know, you just really don't know. So you kind of need someone to show you that. And then the second thing that's a little bit tricky is the editors. So edited by, and this is a little bit tricky because if we go back and I move my cursor over, you will see that we have 2 editors listed. We have Lawrence Behrens and Leonard J. Rosen. Now, if it was just Lawrence Behrens, we would just put that name in there, but where we have actually more than one author, and in this case two, MLA says we got to give the first one list it, but do last name, comma, first name, and then just run the second editor's name together. It's kind of weird looking and hard to get used to, but it would be even more awkward if we were using both just the last name and first name for each one. So let's do that now. Behrens, comma, Lawrence, and Leonard J. Rosen, comma. And those are your two editors. And again, the edition and the editors part were the parts where I saw the most confusion in what you turned in last week. Next thing we need, MLA says, is the publishing information, the name of the publisher, and it's listed down on the first page of that copyright information. It's HarperCollins. So let's go ahead and plug that in. The Collins, by the way, the C in Collins is capitalized, followed by another comma. We're hitting the home stretch. We need the year next, so let's go back and look and see if we can find that. Not so much on the first page, but I bet if we scroll down, we'll find it on that second page. My video screen was covering it. It's right there where it says the copyright. That's where you're going to find that. And you'll see it says 1991. So let's go ahead and plug that in. And we need a comma there. And then we need the PP period, which just signifies what the page numbers are of the article. So let's go back to the PDF file. And we'll scroll down, and you can see that the article starts actually on page 167. And let's find the ending point here. It's going to end all the way down on page 182. So let's go 167 to 182. Put your period in there, and that is the sample entry then. And again, many of you, when you turned that in, were super close. I think there was just some confusion about the edition and the editors and how those need to be listed. Some of you had both editors, but maybe it was putting that first editor's last name, first name sequence might have been a little off. We're almost hitting the home stretch. The only thing we need to do next is I'm going to highlight the whole entry. I'm going to go into the home portion here. I'm going to click on paragraph. That's going to pull up my options here for paragraph. And under indentation, just remember I need to change that to hanging and hit OK. And that's going to move my second and subsequent line over on the screen. Now, for demonstration purposes, I made my font size a little bigger. Excuse me, I made 16-point font. Just remember your font size is 12-point font sized, with the style being Times New Roman. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you're able to check it out. The other thing I want to remind you of is I did not post the rubric for the, and I'm going to mention this in the announcement too for you 8 o'clock students. I failed to post the rubric for the paper, and so I need to post that and have the opportunity to talk with you about that. And because of that, I am going to extend the due date of the paper until Tuesday the 27th at midnight. So I give you a little bit more breathing room, a little bit more time to get that paper submitted. I check email often, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. But again, I hope you found this video helpful, and good luck as you're working on that critique paper.